Can Auburn get the win against a pretty darn good defense?
There goes Davis. Oh, my God. Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game.
Hello, and welcome to this episode of War Eagle Weekly. How we doing, Josh?
Well, man, let's just get on to it. I'm feeling better than I was, and I want to keep it that way.
Okay, let's talk about it. We're going to be talking about the Kentucky game coming up on this Saturday. Josh, is Auburn going to be able to come in there and squeak out a win against Kentucky, against a pretty good defensive team, to be perfectly honest with you?
I mean,
I great this year, but the defense has been good.
I would like it if they could. I mean, Kentucky, they lost to Georgia by 1 point. Mm-hmm. They beat number 6 Ole Miss on the road. They lost to Vanderbilt by 7 and then got blown out by Florida. But, I mean, I would like to think that Auburn could because, I mean, if the SEC still had divisions, Kentucky would be the Auburn of the SEC East. They're pretty comparable teams. Brock Vandagriff, he has 5 less touchdowns than Peyton Thorne, 2 less interceptions, and the QBRs are pretty identical and 300 yards less than Peyton Thorne. So when it comes to the offense, they're pretty identical. But the defense is, like you said, Kentucky's defense is they're pretty scrappy. They're pretty good bend but don't break defense. And when you got a bad offense, that's the kind of defense that you want.
Yeah, and we talked about it in our preseason preview of this game. We talked about how this defense has a lot, and I do mean a lot, of juniors and seniors playing for it, the guys that have been on this team for a very long time. This Kentucky team not quite doing as good as I thought that they would, but I also didn't think that Vandagriff was going to be that great of a quarterback. I just thought that they were going to rely on their running game and their defense, and they really just are, again, they're just so up and down this year. And like you said, they kind of are like the Auburn of the SEC, or the defunct now SEC East. But this game is very, very gettable for Auburn. If Auburn can just get out of their own way, there's quite a few things that they can do to win this game.
Yeah, well, I mean, we could possibly make, one of those bowl games that nobody cares about if we start the winning streak against, Kentucky, because that gives us room to lose to an Alabama or to a Texas A&M, or hell, even a Vanderbilt. Because if you lose this game, you got to win out. But if you win this game, you have a little more breathing room to become bowl eligible. But if you lose this one, the foot's on everyone's throats.
Yeah, no, it totally is. So let's dive right into it. What are you thinking the keys to the game could quite possibly be? I'm gonna start off with my first key to the game, Josh, and that is going to be, we need to be explosive on offense. We need to keep this defense of Kentucky's on their back foot. We have the ability to do this. And we talked about it in our previous video about how they have dumbed down the offense so much that it is easy for defenses to key off on the run and to be able to stop, defenses to stop Jarquez Hunter. He had, what was his yards per carry in that Missouri game? 3.1
or 3.9, something like that.
So it's just absolutely ridiculous. We should be able to throw the ball better. We should be able to run this offense. It's a fifth-year senior that's out there running this offense. And I'm kind of at the point now to where, with how bad the season has gone, this might be crazy, Josh, but I don't care if he throws any more interceptions. I don't care. Just run the offense and let's just see this bad boy go. So that way we can then just say, well, if Peyton Thorne didn't freaking screw it up, we'd be just fine.
Well, who would we have to bitch about it if that's the point? But I don't want him to throw any more interceptions. I friggin' care if he throws any more interceptions.
But no, what I mean is, like, to the extent of creating explosive offense like we were doing in the first few games. No, I do not want a 4 interception game like we had against Cal or anything like that. Cal. I'm not saying that, but we can have an explosive offense that he doesn't throw 4 interceptions.
Oh,
Maybe
absolutely.
he throws an interception or 2. Okay, I can live with that crap, especially if the offense looks good all the other time, is what I'm saying. Because we're not putting the offense in a position to be successful running it the way we did against Missouri. That's what I'm saying. We need to be more explosive.
I agree with you. And, even though Jarquez Hunter was held to 3.1 yards per carry against Missouri, we still ended up with over 100 yards rushing. So our rush game does work. It's a power by committee type of run game, which is it's awesome to see. I want to see that. And you get that going. Our pass game opens up like we saw against Missouri. It's just we had guys dropping the damn ball.
Yeah. What is your first key to the game, Josh?
It's going to be, maintain your assignments, keep containment.
Mm-hmm.
If you do that, the mistakes are going to drop. Those third down conversions are going to drop, and those fourth down conversions are going to drop. You're not going to see as many of those if you maintain your containment. I know that's a lot easier said than done. Don't get me wrong. I played defense in high school, and it's not the easiest thing in the world to maintain. Keep your gaps, maintain your assignments, and do what you're supposed to be doing, because you want to make a play for your team. But if making a play for your team, it also entails keeping your containment so the plays for offense don't happen. So by doing that, keeping your assignments and maintaining your containment, you're making a play for your team. If you do that, if you don't want to go after these big, huge highlight plays, you don't want to break early for an interception or break early for a bat down, because those types of mistakes lead to big conversions. Yeah, you maintain your assignments, you're gonna do better, and you're gonna have a lot better time on the field.
Yeah, no, I agree completely, and it's not just defensively maintaining your assignments; it's offensively as well. But I specifically on the defense, because Kentucky's offense is not that good, and so if we maintain our assignments, we should be able to handle them and keep them below their season average of less than 21 points a game. Less than 21 points a game, Josh. We should be able to keep them under that. Okay.
Yes, agreed.
So my next key to the game is going to be put some pressure on Vandergrift. We need to go ahead.
We've been doing it. We've been doing it all season. Ever since the week 3, I believe. DJ Durkin has been sending the friggin' pressure. He's been letting his guys loose and get to the quarterback. Keldrick Falk has been one absolute friggin' monster this season. DeMarcus Riddick has been one absolute monster since getting more snaps. So I agree with you 110%. We've been able to do that. Just keep doing it against Vandergrift.
And Vandergrift is not that agile of a quarterback. No. He's not that kind of quarterback that can get out there and run. Yes, he has 271 yards on the season, but it's only 1.9 yards a carry. He's only averaging 18 yards a game. So he's not explosive running the ball. And so if we can put pressure on him and keep him in the pocket and keep him from beating us because he gets to stand back there, then we should be able to handle this game. This is a very big key to the game in my mind, to be perfectly honest.
I agree with you. He's a statue in the pocket. Yep. He's not gonna, scramble. He might scramble for a couple yards here or there, kind of like what Big Ben did in Pittsburgh when he was playing in the NFL. But other than that, he's not going to do what Brady Cook did against us on 3rd and 10s and scrambling for first downs.
Yep, exactly what I was going to say. And not just that, Brady Cook was, behind the line of scrimmage. He does a lot of running outside of his pocket to keep the play alive, and Vandergrift shouldn't. So, Josh, what's your next key to the game?
Keep it simple, stupid. It's just that simple. Keep it friggin' simple. I like RPOs a lot. I like them a lot. But when you got a quarterback that can't, read a defense on what to do with the ball in RPOs, you take that play out of the playbook and don't allow him to make those types of decisions. You tell him what to do on a run play, and he does it, which was handing the ball off to the running back or a sweeping wide receiver. Either way, you got to simplify it in a way that's going to put your offense in a good position. And I think the best place to start is taking the RPO out of the playbook. So that's another decision taken out of Peyton Thorne's hands.
Yeah, and the thing is you can have an explosive offense and it still be simple.
Yeah, you really can. I mean,
it's just
So frustrating.
Dude, it 100% is. I still to this day cannot figure out why we cannot have an explosive offense and it not be, riddled with mistakes. So, let's dive right into it though, Josh. Let's talk about our impact players of the game. Okay, we got coming up. We're going to be seeing Vandergriff, and we're going to be seeing Derek Jackson. But for you, who is your impact player for Kentucky? Who's somebody we do need to watch out for?
Oh, you've already brought it up. It's Brock Vandegrift. I mean, the dude, he's skilled. He was a 5-star quarterback coming out of high school. That's not because, it's not because he was getting special treatment. It's because he has some playing skills. I mean, if he was able to play up to his potential, he'd still be at Georgia right now. It sucks that he had to take a step back and transfer out, but he's a starting quarterback in Kentucky right now. If you lose sight of him, he's going to make plays. There's just no doubt about it. He has the friggin' skill to do it. And of course, if it was to happen in any game, it would happen against Auburn. So if you bring the pressure, you keep him on his toes, you make him throw on his back foot, and you make him throw on his heels, he's going to make those mistakes that you want him to make. So if you keep bringing the pressure, you're going to take that key player out of the game.
Yep. For me, one of Kentucky's biggest impact players has got to be Derek Jackson. This dude has been with this team for a very long time. He is a senior, redshirt senior at that. He is a senior. He has played in 39 games. He has started 23 games, 21 of them consecutively, and he was their leading tackler in 2022 and 2023. And this year he is leading them again in tackling. He is sitting right at 37 tackles so far on the season. This dude has been around. He has seen everything. He has played Georgia every year. The kid is he's an impact player all the way around. And
yes,
and just absolutely a wrecker on the defensive side. He is somebody that if Peyton Thorne doesn't watch out, he is going to be a problem.
I mean, he's a veteran, and if you got a veteran that's been on your team for that long and started every season he's been on the team, then he's going to be one of those impact players you can't overlook. You just really can't.
Nope. Impact players for Auburn, Josh. I'll let you take off and choose your first impact player here.
It's the same impact player I had last week, which is Jarquez Hunter. I mean, he's such a big part of our offense. He's the best player on our offense, and it's mind-boggling that we haven't utilized him as much as we should have been utilizing him up to this point in the season. Last week was a focal point for Jarquez Hunter. I think he had the most carries he's had all season with 19 last week. And I mean, if he can get around the same amount of carries this week that he did last week, I really think this could easily be a breakout game for him. I would say Kentucky's pass pro on defense, not pass pro, pass defense is better than their run defense, which would be a big plus for us because our run protection on our offensive line is far better than our pass protection on the offensive line.
Yeah.
So if you get Jarquez Hunter moving, it's going to open up the offense.
And I agree completely. We need Jarquez to be at the top of his game and to be able to lead this offense. But for me, the impact player is Peyton Thorne. It goes back to the key game that I put out there to have an explosive offense. It all centers on Peyton Thorne and whether or not he can do that for us. And we need him to be a fifth-year senior that is successful. I don't need him to try to put this game on his legs, on his shoulders. I don't need that. I don't need him to be the hero. I just need him to make the plays that are there in front of him. It's
keep us in the game. That's all I want.
Yep. No, 100%. I agree completely. It's not that hard for him to have as big of an impact as possible on this game. There are so many opportunities that Auburn has to win this game. We're heading into a basketball school and playing football against them. We made fun of them in the preseason. We had Kentucky fans call us out multiple times for how we just set them aside and do not think of them as a serious school. But guess who is looking forward to basketball season and cannot stand the fact that we are stinking it up on football? That would be me too, Josh. Me too. And we will have our basketball preview episode coming out here shortly. We're almost there to basketball season, but
so close.
so
Thank
be
God.
sure to hit the notification bell and be sure to subscribe so that way you don't miss the fun basketball stuff that we're going to be doing, because we should be having a good time during the basketball season.
Yes.
A lot of hype around this team, a lot of things that we want to talk about, including the fact that they got cheated multiple ways for the preseason.
I'm okay with being an underdog.
But be sure to follow us on our socials so that way we can talk about this. Josh, preseason, we talked about this team, we talked about this game, and our preseason prediction. We had you saying Auburn wins 27-13. I had Kentucky winning 24-21, but guess what? I personally am flipping the script. This Auburn team is going to win 21-14, or 24-14. Let's get another field goal in there. Let's see if Towns Magoo can actually kick us a field goal.
Let's hope.
Again, we talked about the preseason poll, but what are you thinking? What's your final prediction on this game?
I'm going to keep my prediction pretty close or exactly the same as my preseason prediction. This is a do or die type of game for Auburn and Hugh Freeze. I really feel like Hugh Freeze and company are going to come in with a really good game plan to win one of these games on the road before we go back home. So I would like to stick around the 24-27-14 type of game for Auburn victory.
Okay. Absolutely. I am being an optimistic. We're going to win this game, Josh.
Keep that energy, Cameron. I don't want to see no flips on Saturday.
I'm being optimistic. Josh, let's go ahead and get out of here. Guys, again, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to click the notification bell. We got a lot of exciting content coming up. It's not just football season. We got basketball season coming up again. I cannot reiterate that enough. But Josh, absolutely, positively, I'm excited for this game against Kentucky. Probably one of our more winnable games left on the schedule outside of UL Monroe, because Vandy is looking hella tough. And
very good.
Really worried about that game. And with the biggest bombshell of the year, the fact that Vandy is a scary team. War Eagle, Josh.
War Eagle, Cameron.